Today I want to talk about a question I do get asked all the time. Is commercial property investment a good idea? The short answer is yes, but like any investment, it comes with advantages and considerations you need to understand. So let me start with why commercial property can be such an attractive investment proposition compared to, say, residential property. With residential property, you might think you're getting, say, a 4 to 5% return based on rental income. But out of that, you then need to pay rates, insurance, and any repairs and maintenance. So by the time you factor in those expenses, your actual return is quite significantly lower. Commercial property works very differently, and this is where it gets quite interesting. You receive your lease income, but the key difference is the tenant then pays the rates and insurance and most repairs and maintenance through what we call OPEX, or operational expenses. This means you're then getting two components. You get your base lease amount plus the OPEX contribution from your tenant or tenants. This structure then delivers better yields, because you don't then have those expenses eating into your rental income. Plus, commercial properties typically offer higher base yields than a residential property anyway. Another major advantage is lease stability. So we're not talking about, say, a 12-month residential lease. We're talking about lease terms which could be 3 to 5, sometimes even 10 years or longer, which gives a long-term predictable income stream. But there's always challenges. And so these are really crucial to understand for your own success. So the first is vacancy risk. When a commercial tenant moves out, the property can stay empty for much longer than a residential property would. During this vacancy period, you're still responsible for your rates and your insurance and your mortgage payments, which means you've got to fund these from your own pocket. The second is concentration of risk. So many commercial buildings just have one main tenant. If that business struggles and can't pay rent or needs to relocate, suddenly you have a really large space to fill. While there are some protection measures you can put in place with personal guarantees and things, there will still be cash flow timing issues that you need to manage. And third is the large capital outlay. Unless you're buying a property for your own business, you'll typically need a 40 to 50% deposit. That's a significant amount up front. So here's where commercial property investment can work really well. Syndication, or investing with other people. Instead of putting all your capital into one commercial property, you maybe can pool resources with other investors to buy multiple properties, which creates some diversification around properties, but also different lease terms that can end at different times across the portfolio. So as you build equity and lease values grow over time, you can manage vacancy in one building by using income from other properties. So it makes the overall investment more stable. But there's a few things with syndication you need to know too. You need to know who you're investing with. Do your due diligence on your partners. Be crystal clear about timeframes and expectations. Are you planning to hold those properties for a few years and then sell to realise capital gains? Or is this a long-term hold strategy for ongoing income? Even though plans can change, having these discussions up front protects everyone involved. And I also recommend putting mechanisms in place for how a buyout might work if someone wants to exit the investment as well. So commercial property investment can be an excellent wealth building strategy when done properly. The key is understanding both the opportunities and the risks, like any investment, and structuring your investment in a way that maximises those benefits while managing those challenges.